Welcome, college football fans. I'm Gianni Football, and welcome to episode 7 of Gianni Gameday. This week, we have the privilege to cover one of the most historic rivalries in college football history. We have the University of Southern California versus UCLA. This weekend, it's the 88th matchup between these two crosstown rivals. Only 13 miles separates the two schools. It'll be live from the Rose Bowl, so you know Gianni Football's excited. So come on, let's get pumped up for this rivalry, because rivalries are what make college football the best. Hit the theme song. Gianni Gameday. Let's start this episode with a new segment called Trophy Talk, where I'll break down the facts and history of the piece of hardware that these two teams battle it out for every year. Los Angeles City bragging rights aren't the only thing on the line this weekend. USC and UCLA also battle for what's called the Victory Bell. It's a 295-pound bell taken off the freight of a locomotive train. In 1939, the Trojan Alumni Association gifted this bell to UCLA. Although, in 1941, after a UCLA and Washington State football game, a couple of USC frat guys stole the trophy from the Bruins. It took presidents from each schools and administrators from each schools threatening to cancel the series in order for the vandalizers to turn the trophy back in. In 1942, student body presidents agreed that this would be the trophy that the two teams battled it out for every year. And whoever won the game got to keep the trophy for one complete year. If there was a tie, then the previous winner got to keep it an additional year. Also, they got to paint it their home colors. So far, it's been painted Cardinal for USC 44 times and UCLA Blue 31 times. There's also been 4 ties. Speaking of pranks and vandalism, according to the Daily Bruin, a UCLA school newspaper, the iconic Bruin statue that sits outside the Athletic Hall of Fame, somewhere I visited in the off-season, was vandalized. According to the paper, it was discovered around 10 a.m. Thursday morning. The protective walls were pried open and the statue was painted cardinal in gold. A similar incident occurred in 2009, that's why the protective walls were put up there, and it cost the university $20,000. Whew, well, at least your investment lasted a decade. Now it's time for Know Your History, where I'll take a story from college football history and I'll relate it to this week's rivalry game, USC versus UCLA. One of the unique things about this game is that regardless of where the home game is played, both teams wear their home jerseys. This tradition was started in 1949 and it continued until 1951. There was a short hiatus, and in 1957 it continued until 1982. Then, an NCAA rule mandated that the visiting team had to wear white jerseys. 10 years ago, in 2008, USC decided to wear their Cardinal jerseys to the Rose Bowl against UCLA. They had to forfeit a timeout via NCAA rules, but then UCLA called a timeout right before the first play to make things even in good faith. Now, every year, except 2011 where UCLA chose to wear white, both teams don their home colors no matter where the game is played. Kirk Herbstreit, an ESPN analyst and a former Ohio State Buckeye, has stated on multiple occasions how much he loves seeing the colors, the Cardinal and the UCLA Blue, running out into the field no matter where the team is played. And in fact, I remember the 2008 game when UCLA called that timeout to make things even, and I just thought, how cool is that? And why don't more teams do that? I thought it's so unique, it's so vivid, and especially with the internet and high definition television. Why don't more teams do it? I love it, and I am so excited to see it this weekend. And now for a special edition of Prediction Time, Rivalry Edition. Rivalry games are always hard to predict because usually you throw those record books out the window, even though they have 13 combined losses, which is the most in UCLA versus USC history. You throw that out the window, and you just look at the two teams, who wants it more? UCLA has been battling tough. I feel like they're starting to get things going a little bit. So they'll show a good fight. They have Theo Howard, excellent wide receiver. They have Caleb Wilson, who just made the John Mackey tight end semifinalist list. And Joshua Kelly, he's been, really turning it on late in the season. He was fantastic in that Washington game earlier. Keyshawn Lucier-South, he's been really fantastic on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Darnell Holmes and Darius Pickett in the defensive backfield for UCLA. I do think they are going to give up some points, though, because USC's offense is pretty high-powered. JT Daniels hasn't been playing fantastic, but he's just a freshman. He has a lot of growing to do. But Michael Pittman, wide receiver for USC, has been on fire. And then USC has really fantastic running backs, Stephen Carr and Akasejic Ware. They've been doing well. Their defense is a little depleted. That one of their best players, Porter Gustin, he's out for the season with a broken ankle. But Cam Smith, he's a senior. This will be his last time battling UCLA, so he's going to want to get out with a victory against the Bruins, especially on their home turf. That'll be nothing sweeter, I'm sure, for the Trojans. I do think the Trojans are going to win 30-24. Growing up in Southern California for most of my life, being a college football fanatic for most of my life, Gianni Football is ready to go for this classic, historic rivalry.
Hey, what's up? It's Gianni Football. I missed most of the first half because of the traffic, but that's okay. It's whatever, man. When I got here, it was 17-14, and then when Nate Metters had an interception around 11 or the 12-minute mark, Josh Kelly had a touchdown. I believe I got that on video for you. And then Jones, I believe from USC, he had around a 40-yard screen touchdown pass. So at halftime, it's 24-21. It's a pretty good crowd right now. USC band is playing right behind me. I'm having a good time. So I'll give you some more updates in the second half. Peace. crazy game. UCLA wins 34-27. Joshua Kelly went off nearly 300 yards. He had 289 with 40 carries. Joshua Kelly definitely gets the MVP for this game. He did fantastic. And USC really just couldn't move the ball, and the UCLA defense played really well. They forced a couple picks. Darnay Holmes had an interception of JT Daniels. Give a lot of credit to the UCLA defense, and like I said, Joshua Kelly and the UCLA offensive line, they could not be stopped today. And UCLA wins the victory bell. They'll take it back to Pasadena, or back to Westwood, I should say. I will see you next week, November 24th, I believe, for Notre Dame against USC. Notre Dame's going to try to finish the season undefeated and earn their ticket to the playoff, and USC will try to get bowl eligible after that, or with a win after that, I should say. All right, peace out.